Let's create an anisotropic steel material with radial highlight pattern, like in this example here. So when steel is brushed in a circular motion, it creates these radial scratches, and the highlights appear to be coming out from the center point. One of the most common examples is a pan like this, and that's what I'm going to demonstrate on. Okay, so I have it set up with 3 material IDs. Number 1 for this center part that is radial, it has a planar UV map. Then I have material ID 2 for these vertical walls. It has a cylindrical UV map. And finally ID 3 for regular stainless steel for the handle. Okay, so let's start with this radial part in the center. Let's set up a regular Viri material there. Okay, I'm just gonna double check my material IDs. Okay, so that's 1 and that's 2. Okay, that's good. And let's start with basic metal material. So darkish gray diffuse, strong reflect color, enable Fresnel, maybe a 80, and change the BRDF to Word. Okay, and let's try it at reflection glossing at 0.9. Okay, looks good. And now let's add the anisotropic effect. It's pretty simple. Just set the anisotropy to 0.99 and set up a rotation map as a gradient ramp. And for the gradient ramp, I want the middle part to be white and the sides to be black. And just set it to spiral type, and it creates this map automatically. Okay, let's render and see how it looks. Okay, not bad. It's a good starting point. Maybe let's reduce the reflection glossiness to 0.8. I think I might have my anisotropy too strong, so let's try 0.9. Okay. And that's better. And now you have this radial highlight pattern going on your model. Okay, and we can add a slight bump map by creating a map in Photoshop. Just create a new file like this. Fill it with a color and add a noise filter. Okay, I'm going to set it to maximum. Make sure it's set to monochromatic. And that's good. Right, now I'm going to increase my file size and sharpen the results. Okay, good. And then finally, let's blur by using motion blur. Let's blur it like this. All right. Now we have to get rid of these seams along the sides. So first I'm going to use filter offset and offset horizontally. No need for a vertical offset. And just select an area like this, copy, paste, move over here, and with the eraser tool, just blend it in like this. Looking good. Merge down and sharpen. All right. This map is actually going to be useful for the side, so I'm going to save it as noise 1. And we can create a circular version by using a filter in Photoshop. We could create a clever UVW map by using the light modifier or something like that, but I think it's easier to just create a planar map. Okay, so it's a bit slow with the saving. Okay, so to create the radial map, you go to your filter, distort, and use the polar coordinates filter. And as you can see, the result is pretty rough. So I'm gonna try and increase the size first to maybe 15,000. Now run a median filter, noise median, just to clean it up a bit. Maybe at 4 pixels, 5, okay, 5. And sharpen it. Unsharp mask. Set the radius to maybe 4 pixels. And use a pretty high strength value. Alright. Now let's try to use the polar coordinates filter again. Okay, looks better. Press OK. So it takes a while to calculate it. So our image is so large. And let's resize it back to 4000. And we have the scratch pattern ready to use in Max. That's pretty good. So there's a little bit of a tiling issue over here. A little theme. So I'm just going to duplicate the layer, free transform it. Let's rotate it like by 45 degrees. Press OK. And delete the seam over here. That's perfect. And we can resave it. Okay, back to Max. Let's set up a bump map. Select your radial noise map. I'm going to reduce the blur to 0.5. Let's look at the material preview. And the noise is a bit too strong. Let's set it maybe at 10. That's going to be fine. We can re-render and see how it looks. Okay, so this render is a bit low quality and low size, small size, so it's hard to see the exact effect, but with a high quality render you're gonna see it. Okay, so that's the radial pattern. We can copy it to the second material slot and remove the rotation map. Just clear it. And for this one I'm going to set the anisotropy to X. And use the other map in the bump slot. Okay. Let's look closer and see how it looks. Maybe we need to adjust the tiling or something. That looks fine like this. Let's look at the first material. And I think it's fine. It matches pretty well. Okay. And now you have this brushed metal material with circular highlights in the center and vertical highlights along the sides. So just bump up the material samples and render quality and you should have a pretty good final result.